everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. This is a video series where Lori and I are taking the time to play through our library 2 or 3 games at a time and then making a video. We want to do that so that we can show you the games all set up so you can get an idea about what is in the box, and then I can tell you how to play the game in a little more detail. We seem like a really groovy idea because that's the only kind of ideas we have, groovy, because we're groovy people. But we hope you enjoy this series, and I'm always telling you that we play our library, and that's what I wanted to show you and why I wanted to make this video series. So I hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, so we just got done playing Cascadia. Cascadia was a game that came out in 2021. It was designed by Randy Flynn. It's for 1 to 4 players, and the artist was Beth Sobel, and Beth's making quite a name for herself as a board game artist. We have several games that she did the art for, and they're very good. And this is no exception. It's absolutely wonderful. This is an endgame bonuses game. It has tile drafting and pattern building, and the winner of the game is the one with the most points. So let's take a look at this box, because I always talk about this. A nice sturdy box for this game. Thank you very much, AEG and Flat Out Games. Rule book for Cascadia. Very simple rule book. And then in the box you have a place here for your habitat tiles, which are shaped like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided. Yeah, so they're 6-sided tiles, and they go right in here, and then everything else fits here. Comes to score sheets. We just laminated one, and we use a dry erase like usual. Then you have a starting habitat tile that's larger than the tiles that you're going to draft during the game, but that's what you start with. And it has at least one icon for every animal. Yeah, at least one icon for every animal in the game, and there's 5 animals in the game. So you have, let's see. So as I said, you have 5 animals in the game, and you get a deck of cards that are endgame bonus cards. You're trying to build the patterns that are on these cards, and you have 4 cards for, it comes with the game, 4 cards for every animal, so that's 20 cards. You have 5 animals, 4 cards for each animal. They're lettered A, B, C, and D in order of complexity, how difficult they are. If you get into the D's, they're a little more difficult than the A's, and that's the way it works. The cards are wonderful. They're linen quality cards. They're very, very nice. They have a picture of the animal on the card, picture of the pattern that you have to build and how it scores at the end of the game. In this game, you're simply going to have these 5 cards, because you have one for each animal out in front of you, and then you'll have a place where you're going to have tiles, habitat tiles that you're going to draft, and wildlife tokens. So you'll have pairs of these in front of you, 4 of them, and your decision is simple. Which one do I want? Which pair do I want? You have to decide which one you want so that you can draft it, and you have to be able to place this wildlife token. So you have to think about that when you're looking at the grid you're building over here, your tableau. You can see, I don't know if you can see mine or not, but this is kind of what you end up with. This is what you look like at the end of the game. But when you start the game, of course, you're only going to have this tile. And I said you have at least one of every animal on that tile. And so, I mean, and right away, you have to make a decision about which animal or which pattern you want to start building. And in this case, it helps you a little bit, because I think on each one of these starting tiles, there's 2 icons of one of the animals. And in this instance, I have 2 bears on my starting tile. So it would be smart for me to do the bear card and start there. So I would do the bears, and in this case, you had to have 3 bears, wildlife token bears, together to score at the end of the game. And you get 10 points for doing that. You can do that any number of times. But that would be a good starting point when starting the game. And I actually did start off in that direction, and I did finish that one time, the bears. But then what you're going to have to do is take a look at these tiles, and I would say, okay, I want to start with the bears, so there's a bear wildlife token available. I would want to take that probably and take the tile that goes with it, and because I have a place to put this bear token, I can take it and then I'll put it on my starting tile, because I have 2 places to do that. And then I also took this habitat tile, which is a salmon, and I'll put that over here next to this other salmon, because I can see on this card that I want to make a run of salmon, just like in real life. So I want to make a run of salmon. But also I'm looking at the yellow terrain of this tile, and I would want to put that on this yellow terrain and match that, because at the end of the game, the largest contiguous amounts of terrain for each one of those you get to score those, and you get bonuses for having the most. So that's pretty cool too. And also on some of these tiles that you're going to be selecting from the market, there is a picture of a pine cone on there. It's a little white pine cone, and when you take that and select that tile from the market, you put that pine cone on that tile. Then when you place a wildlife token on top of there, like this one calls for an elk, when I place an elk on there, I can take that pine cone off and put it in my tableau area, and I can use that. And you can use these for a couple of different things. You can use these pine cones. Maybe there's a group of tiles up here, pairs of these, and you don't want any of them. None of the pairs work for you and what you're doing in your pattern building, and that happens. So you can take one of these pine cones and say, all right, I'm going to take this fox and this tile over here. So you don't have to follow the rules and take an over-under pair. You could take one of the wildlife tokens from any place and one of the habitat tokens from any place, and that will be your pair. And then you have to discard this. Now, that is convenient to do so sometimes, but if you don't spend these, they're a point at the end of the game, and I had 8 of them left over at the end of the game. I had 8 points. I lost the game, but that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice having 8 points, but that's some of the things they're used for. And then another thing they're used for is if you don't see any wildlife tokens, which is these nice wooden tokens that come with the game, any of these wildlife tokens, and there's 5 different ones, you know, one to represent all the animals, but if you don't want any of those, you can take those and put them aside, spend one of your pine cones, and draw 4 new ones out of the bag and put them down there. Because there's going to be times in the game when you're going to look at the 4 that are available and say, I'm looking for one specific token and it's not there. And if you get lucky enough, which Lori did, I mean, she did this very move where she spent a pine cone, wiped out the available wildlife tokens, put the ones down, that she draw 4 new ones out of the bag, put them down on the table, and she got the one she was looking for and scored a bunch of points for it. So, I mean, sometimes it behooves you to take that chance, a little bit of push your luck thing there. Then also, I want to mention it comes with a nice draw bag. It says Cascadia on it for the wildlife tokens that you're going to be drawing them. I mean, there's, I think 100. I think there's 100 wildlife tokens. These nice wildlife tokens with pictures of the animals on them. And then I think there's 85 habitat tokens. Now, depending on the player count, that will tell you how many habitat tiles to use in the game. So I think we have to remove 42 of the 85 tiles in order to play 2-player. And you're simply going to have these stacked up, all 42 of them in 3 different stacks over here. And you just replenish the market after each turn. Like, you know, like I had it you shown up here, we had boom and boom. So when it's someone's turn, they'll take a pair of these, put them in their tableau, and then you simply replenish for the next player's turn, draw a new token out of the bag, and put it there, and now the next player has to choose from those. This is a really crunchy puzzle, and it's so variable because of the cards that come with the game. Again, you get 4, A, B, C, D. So you get 4 of each animal, so you get 20 different cards. And you can pick those out randomly, so you may end up with, one A card, a couple of C's, a B, and a D. I mean, so one that's really, really hard, and the others that are medium, and one maybe simple. So it's pretty cool to have that variability in this game. It's always cool to have a lot of variability in any game, but it really is something in this game because that changes the puzzle every time you play it. Really, really enjoy this game, you guys. It was my #1 game of 2021, just edging out Monasterium. I loved Monasterium, but this game is the type of game that expands the board gaming hobby because you don't have to be an experienced board gamer. You can go out and buy Cascadia, even if you don't play board games. pick this game up, open the box, read the rule book, and figure out how to play this game. And that's what makes board gaming grow throughout the population. It's not having games like Gloomhaven and Twilight Imperium. They did very little to expand the hobby of board gaming because they're hugely complex and take forever to play. And they're not for everyone, they're for hobbyists. This game is for everybody. That's why I made it #1, and that's why the year before it, the same company, I made it #1. That was Calico, and that's going to be the other game we're going to talk about today. But Cascadia is wonderful, you guys. I can't tell you how much we really enjoy this. You can play this game in 30 minutes, have it back in the box, and generally when we get this game out, we play it 2 or 3 times because it is so quick and it is so satisfying, and it works your brain trying to build the patterns, be able to, select those tiles, build the habitats for the animals in a pattern that's going to score at the end of the game, plus think about the terrains that you're trying to hook together to score those bonus points at the end of the game. And yeah, Lori won this game, and she did it in pretty good fashion. And you just sometimes things fall into place for you, and other times they don't. I just could not get my game going here today. But yeah, it's just a wonderful, wonderful board game from 2021 by Randy Flynn, and it's called Cascadia. All right, everybody, so we just got done playing Calico, a game designed by Kevin Russ, came out in 2020, 1 to 4 players. The art is by Beth Sobel, and she did the art in Cascadia also, I believe. So the other game in this video. So she's, I don't know if she has something to do with Flat Out Games, maybe she does. This is by Flat Out Games and AEG. And Calico is a game that we backed on Kickstarter, which I don't recommend. Okay, I don't recommend doing that. These people, however, deliver on time, the production's wonderful, and the game designs are great. This was the game of the year for me for 2020. Cascadia, the game that was in this video also, was the game of the year for me for 2021. And we backed their other Kickstarter, Verdant, which is due to be delivered sometime this year. And their track record is very good. So I'm confident when I back a game by these people, they're going to deliver on time, the production quality is outstanding, and the game is good. So they have a nice track record so far. They're 2 for 2 so far. I haven't played Verdant, but I'm looking forward to giving that game a try. But back to Calico. This is a pattern building, tile drafting, tile placement game, and it has a lot of end game bonuses with patterns that you're going to build with cats. If you're going to have certain patterns on your quilt, you're going to attract those kitties and they're going to curl up and go to sleep on your quilt. And it's just a lovely game. But let's talk about the game itself. And I want to say, a nice heavy box this game comes in. Thank you very much, Flat Out Games. And this box is packed full of stuff. You can, when you get the lid on this, everything is packed right up to the top of the lid. Get this stuff out of here and let me show you. There's just a lot in this game, and I'll talk about that. But you play the game on these double layered player boards, and this is your quilt that you're building. And these haven't warped at all. They've stayed nice and flat. I don't know, they're doing something right over here at Flat Out Games. Their quality of their games, the production quality is outstanding, and the gameplay mechanisms are wonderful. This is a puzzle type of game. We really, really enjoy it. It's so wonderful. So you get 5 of these double-sided cats that you're going to be able to build the patterns for, because you'll take 2 tiles at random, pattern tiles, stick them up under here, and in this case, Tidbit, cute little Tidbit, I love Tidbit, and it says 4+ on here. So if you have a run of 4 or more of these 2 patterns, you're going to take a Tidbit token. You're going to take a Tidbit token and put that cat on your quilt, because you attracted Tidbit by finishing that. And Tidbit's going to come over and curl up on your beautiful quilt, and the cute little kitty's going to curl up and give you bonus points at the end of the game, and that's so cool. You get a wonderful thick cloth bag to draw the tiles out of, because here's how the game works. You're simply going to have a pool of 2 tokens, a player pool. You're going to have 2 tokens in front of you. Let me show you. And your turn is simply going to consist of this. You're going to place one of those tiles that's in front of you on your player board. Then you're going to take a tile from the 3 tile market. There's going to be 3 tiles here. You're going to remove a tile and put it in front of you to replace the one you just played, so you'll always have 2 in front of you. And then you're going to draw one from the bag and replace that tile you took in the market. So it's simply play a tile, take one from the market, and replace it from the bag. And we pass this bag back and forth so we don't get mixed up. That's the only tricky part of this game, is remembering to do those steps in order. Place a tile from your 2-player pool, take a tile from the market, then replace that tile in the market from the bag. So we hand this bag back and forth so we don't get confused as to what's going on. Because it's easy to do. That's just a little, it doesn't sound tricky, but maybe it's our age. I don't know. It gets tricky for us, so we have to kind of follow that. Then also you have this wonderful thick token. Like everything in this game is thick. It's just wonderful. And you put that on the table, and it has buttons on it, and you can see that the big 3 in the middle. If you complete a run of 3 of any of those colors, you get to place a button on your quilt, because you've gotten a nice award for making your quilt so beautiful, and that button will be 3 points at the end of the game. And you want to try to do that as many times as you can. But there's so much to think about in this game, and I've just told you everything that's in this game, but making that happen, folks, it's really hard. This game will hurt your head. I think each player has 6 of these design gold tokens at the beginning of the game. You're going to randomly pick 4, randomly. You're just going to have them all face down, pull 4 of them out of the pile, set the other 2 aside, and then you're going to look at those 4 tiles and decide which ones you want to do. You want to do 3 of them. You're going to pick 3 out of the 4. So you're going to pick 3 out of the 4 to put on your double layer player board, and the other one's going to go out of the game with the other 2 that didn't get selected. So you're going to select 3 and have 3 left over. And man, it is so hard to complete these tiles. On the tile itself, it will give you the pattern. For instance, this one says 3 A's, 2 B's, and a C. Now there's a couple of different ways you can complete that design. You can do it by patterns, or you can do it by colors. Or a third way, you can do both. And you can see on this tile, it has a 7-point award in blue, and it has a 11-point award in gold. If you complete this pattern in colors or shapes, you get the 7 points. If you do it in both, you get the bonus in gold. That's 11 points. Each one of those tiles has that ability to pay you points in 3 different ways like that. So, I mean, it is such a tough puzzle. It's so much thinking goes on in how you're going to do that. Because this one tile we both selected, for some reason, maybe we're suckers for punishment, but this tile is unequal. All the tiles have to be unequal around it. So it has to be unequal patterns, unequal colors, and if you do both, you get 15 points, the one in the gold. And I managed to do both. I don't know, I got so lucky. I will never try that again, because it interferes with the other tiles, the other gold tiles on your board. Because what you select to put around this tile or the other ones, they affect each other. Because, let me show you on the player board here. Shouldn't put that away. I'll do it.
It's right there.
Oh, there it is. On your player board, you can see these kitty cat heads. That's where you're going to put those 3 tiles that you select at the beginning of the game. The design gold tiles are going to go right there. And so you can see that the tiles that you are going to put around them are going to touch each other. So that is another thing you have to think about. And man, this puzzle gets so delicious. It's such a tough, fun, thinky game. That's why it was my game of the year in 2020 by Kevin Russ. Kevin, thank you for a wonderful game. Flat Out Games, thank you for all you did in the production of this game. It's absolutely, I would recommend this game for anybody. Experienced gamers who love a nice tight puzzle. And if you watch my channel at all, you know how much I love shrinking spaces as a mechanic in board gaming. You do this in Sagrada. You do it in Subdivision. Those two jump into my head, but when that space starts to shrink, it makes the game apply pressure to you and really puts the screws to you so that you feel like, oh my gosh, I mean, should I wait on that tile to come out of the bag? I had a situation here where I needed a specific tile, a specific design, and it was like 3 turns from the end of the game, and I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to write that off. I'm not going to be able to finish it. I'm just going to try and get a button in that area and maybe just salvage 3 points out of it. But lo and behold, Lori drew that design out of the bag, and I'm like,
you're welcome.
So I'm trying to hide my board with my arm because I don't want her to know how badly I need that tile to mark it, and I don't want her to take it. So, but I ended up getting it and finishing, completing my tiles. But gosh, you guys, this is a type of game for us. But when I think about board gaming, this is the type of game that I'm talking about because it's fun, it's a thinky puzzle. It's not a big bunch of rules to this game. It's such a small rule set, and the rule book does a wonderful job telling you how to set up and play the game. It's so easy to play. In here, it talks about all the little kitties that you can attract to your, and you're only going to select 3 of them. So you're going to attract those kitties to your quilt, and then it has like a campaign thing you can do in here. Keep track of your, I mean, the publisher just went way above the Call of Duty in order to present a wonderfully thinky type puzzle, I guess. But in the book also, it talks about all of the cats that are in the game. These are real cats, and it gives you a story. And I've talked about this before, but I can't stop raving about games like this because this is what grows the board gaming hobby. It makes people want to play board games because someone can look at my top, I think Calico is in my top 20 all time, my ultimate top 100 board games. And when they see those videos, they say, well, this game's ranked really high. Maybe we should try this game. A person that doesn't play a lot of board games, and they can take this home and read the rule book and get it out and play it and go, wow, that was so much fun. If you only have 5 board games and Calico's one of them, you're going to play it a lot and enjoy it every time you play it. And when I was a kid growing up, I had a stack of games, maybe 5 or 6 games: Uncle Wiggily, Parcheesi, Sorry, Monopoly, Chinese checkers, and stuff like that we would play. I would love to have had a game like Calico or Cascadia to have played over and over again and enjoyed in such a way that there's just the intellectual stimulation that happens when you play a game like this is just wonderful. And I see so many board games out there that just don't have those type of characteristics. They're just not. They're either, especially today's games, they seem to be diluted and overproduced, first of all, and just overdone with rules. They stretch things out and make a simple affair that should be an hour into 2 and 3 hours. And I think those games aren't bringing people into the hobby. It's games like Calico, Sagrada, like I said, Cascadia, those types of puzzly type, fun type of games to play that make you think in a short period of time. We play this game 2 times in an hour, and I just love that and think so hard. I mean, there's smoke coming out of your ears while you're trying to put this puzzle together because it's so tricky. And that's so wonderful to do that in a short period of time that I just can't tell you how much I love that. Oh, I just wanted to mention also that we were going to be at Dice Tower Con East from Wednesday to Sunday, 6th through the 10th. We're going to be at Dice Tower East. So you might not see a video for a little while. We'll get this one out, and then you might not see one for a little while because we're going to be going to that convention. We're going to play board games as fast and furiously as we can possibly play them. I always tell her, I want to play 50 board games in 4 days. We never do it. It's too hard to do. We have to go to the library, check out a game, read the rule set, set the game up and play it. So we never get close to 50. I think we do 28 or 30.
We did 35 the one year.
35 one year? Okay, that was really good. But we have to scramble. And this is what I'll look like at the con. I wear my fedora hat. What I wanted to say was, if you're going to the con and you see us there at Dice Tower East, please come up and introduce yourselves to us and say hello. We would love to meet you and say hello to you and just shake your hand and, well, we'll fist bump. This is post-COVID, so we'll fist bump. But what I would like to know from each of you is, what are your 3 favorite board games to play? Not the games that you think are the most outstanding design or the deepest, most complex game, but the 3 games that you enjoy, the 3 games that you play that are the most fun in your life. I would love to know what those are, and if you could just tell me those when I see you at the convention, that would be terrific. So I hope you're going to the convention. If you're not, we'll see you when we're done at the convention and get another video out when we get back. I think we'll be posting from the convention, and we're going to try and...
I don't know.
No?
We'll see.
No, we'll see.
We'll post the convention.
Oh yeah, we're gonna record
maybe afterwards.
Yeah, the games and stuff that we play at the convention, but I don't know when we'll get that video out. Hey, this is Calico, you guys. This is a game that you can buy with confidence, that when you get it into your house, you're gonna play it over and over and over again. I guarantee you, this game, Calico, will hit the table 5 times as many times in this country or any other country than Gloomhaven, because you can play it in 30 minutes. And that is amazing. It's just a terrific, terrific game. It doesn't take anything out of your life, and you're busy people. Yeah, Calico. Came out in 2020. It's my game of the year. Just a wonderful, wonderful game. I wanted to tell you about it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. Again, production is off the charts. I think this game was $29, I think. 29 bucks. Yeah, I mean, it's priceless. When you can find that kind of activity to do that's going to stimulate your brain, your little gray cells, and make you think that hard in 30 minutes. Calico and games like this are the way to go. This is, again, my Ultimate Top 100, and it's going to stay there. Not to mention the cute little theme. And I mean, look at that cat. I just want to bury my face in that kitty's belly. I mean, I love cats anyways, but that cat is so cute, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful game. Everything about it. This is gaming perfection. Somebody really went to a lot of trouble to make a wonderful board game. Thank you so much, AEG and Flat Out Games. That's Calico. Okay, everybody, that was the games for today that we played this week, and I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope that you got something, a little more something out of them than doing just those top 10s or top 100 lists, because again, I'm able to show you more in that regard. Please like and subscribe. When you take the time to like our videos and then make a comment, that's our payday. We don't get paid for any of this until you guys tell us what you think of our video, and thank you so much for that. Have a great day, and I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector, and remember to keep on board gaming, because it is the best doggone hobby on the planet. Bye-bye.